Thanks for joining us. Now, in our first story, the NDC says it will not be intimidated by government in their bid to recapture power. Johnson Esiedun Ketia was speaking to their supporters after party chairman Samuel Ofosu-Ampofo, who was granted bail over the recent kidnapping of the girls. The opposition party accuses government of using the security agencies to frustrate them. Ernest Menu reports.
Well, good evening. Good evening, and thank you very much for your turn up to this CID headquarters this evening. Yeah, you all remember that there have been attempts by the government of Ghana to use the security services to intimidate us in NDC and frustrate our activities. So we got to a point where our Council of Elders had to come out to declare that enough was enough. And that, from that day going, we are not going to respond to any frivolous invitations by the police, and that if they found anything against us, they are free to take us to court. So eventually, we began seeing newspaper headlines that an arrest warrant has been issued by a court of competent jurisdiction against our chairman. So we, being a law-abiding political party, called the police to come and confirm whether indeed there is such an arrest warrant, because we cannot be relying on newspaper headlines. So we arranged and we met this afternoon. And indeed, they showed us the arrest warrant. And it was based on that arrest warrant that we reported to the CID headquarters. So they've asked all the questions they wanted answers for. They've searched the premises and residence of our national chairman. They've taken all his communication gadgets with the promise, and we've offered to give them the password because we don't have anything to hide. And so based on that, he's been granted bail. We've given them time to scan all the electronic gadgets, and if they are satisfied, they can now determine whether they have sufficient evidence to proceed further or to declare the case null and void. And so that is where we are now. He's been granted bail and we've executed the bail. So we are reporting here on Thursday, 2 p.m. Thank you very much, and may God bless our homeland, Ghana.
Thank you very much.
I want to urge all our party people to stay focused. We want to thank you for the massive solidarity shown this evening. But nobody should relent, because our national pledge and the national anthem urges every citizen to fight the oppressor's rule. We know the founding fathers of this country went through worse experiences than this. So if it is our time to bear the cross. We are ready to bear the cross. And let us assure everybody that nothing can break the resolve of a determined people. Yes. We are marching for victory, yes. No, with or without this intimidation. Yes. So this will not break us down. Tomorrow, we are back and we will continue the program for the celebration of our 27th anniversary. Thank you very much. Chairman,
Away from that story, a number of senior high community day senior high schools are among some 766 public schools which risk being locked up by the Association of Building and Civil Engineering Contractors and Consensus Public Sector Contractors. Now, the contractors are aggrieved over government's failure to clear a debt of 800 million cedis owed members for projects executed in the last 3 years. An executive member of the Contractors Association of Ghana, Richard Nyaku, told Joy News that about 1,000 of their members are yet to be paid. The situation, according to the association, is incapacitating members, with others dying as a result of the pressure from their suppliers. Mr. Nyaku spoke to Bernice Abubedu-Lansa on News Desk.
When we say 766 projects, these are not all completed projects. These are projects that are at different stages of completion. What happens is you build up to a point, you raise a certificate, they're supposed to pay you to continue the job. So that is how it works. So it's different stages of completion. But the ones that have been built, completed, like the one on your screen right now, are the ones that we are threatening to shut down if we don't get paid.
And the schools you are threatening to shut down, what schools are they? Where are they located?
Well, that is information we are holding very close to our chest for now. You see, we are hoping.
Are they community senior high schools?
Some are. We are really hoping that government to, listen to us and do what they have to do. We are human. We are businessmen. We live in these communities. It would not pleasure us to go and close down any school. We are hoping that government to do what they have to do, because we have played our part. They also have to play their part so we don't get there.
Away from that, 14 people, including 3 Nigerians, have been arrested in connection with the kidnapping of the 2 Canadian nationals in Kumasi. The women were rescued last night after armed men bundled them into a private car at a private hostel at Inshaiso a week ago. Lauren Patricia Catherine Tilley, 18, and Bailey Jordan Titley, 20, were rescued last night in Sawaba, a suburb of Kumasi. A statement released by Information Minister Kojo Opon Nkrumah this morning said the rescue operation was carried out by national security operatives in the early hours of Wednesday, June 12, 2019. My colleague Ohiming Teria will be joining us shortly in the bulletin. He has been following this issue. Now, the issue was leading the trends on Twitter earlier today, and we'll be seeing that on your screens very, very shortly. As you can see there, the Canadians, the first thing trending on Twitter following that is the Bring Back Our Tardy Girls after City CBS, the Bring Back Our Tardy Girls hashtag. These are some of the tweets. We found the kidnapped Canadian ladies before the Takrady girls. This country, Capo, at Yusuf Samed is tweeting there. Hadi Yakubu says the swift rescue of the Canadian girls is a manifestation of something deeper. Some Africans like to treat white people or anything relating to them preferentially. We all know the Canadian investigators did the job, not the Ghanaian police. That's Jerry Nilayes' comment. That's the weakness in our institutions, especially the security agencies. I believe if not for the help of the Canadian security, they will still not be found. Is it too much to ask for international help? Ghana beyond aid. At Sedi Wills tweets there. I'm happy but shocked to hear the Canadian girls have been found just a few days after security experts from Canada came to assist. They were found in the same Kumasi where the Ghana Police Service has been gathering their intelligence. Hashtag bring back our tidy girls. Hashtag the police must stop. Can the Canadians who came to rescue the kidnapped Canadian citizens please stay on for about a week more and help us find our missing Takoradi girls? I will pay for accommodation, I beg. Actor John Dumelo speaking there. Ewe God at MK Mensa says Canadian girls found, tidy girl still missing. CID boss who said she has found the tidy girl still at post. Welcome to Ghana. Let's get onto our Facebook and share with you some of the comments there as well. Kweku Billions says if they can rescue the Canadian girls, why can't they do same to the Takoradi girls who have been kidnapped for a couple of months now? Possible Enoch Kofi says, what about the Tadi girls? Kweku Eje Ansong says, we all know Canadian police personnel were in this country to help kidnap these two ladies, to help rescue these two kidnapped ladies, pardon me. So why are you using Ghana police to take the glory? Stephen Kwame says, the biggest joy ever, especially when the rescue operation was done by our Ghanaian security agencies without the counterparts of Canadian rescue experts from Canada. Ghana is safe and will continue to be safe forever and ever. We'll go on the phone lines now and speak with Ohiming Teria, who he's on Skype, pardon me, who has been following this beat. Ohiming, what more do we know?
Thank you, Daniel. What we do know and the information we are picking from our security sources indicate that at least 10 people have been picked up in connection with the kidnapping of the two Canadian women who have been rescued. The information that we picked this morning. And the number of people who have been picked up, at least 3 of them are Nigerian nationals. And then they have local collaboration from their Ghanaian counterparts, Daniel.
Right. Now, Ohiming, you were telling us this morning when the story first broke that 4 men bundled the girls into the car. So how does it become a gang of 14 then? Have the police told us?
What we have been picking up from our security sources indicate that this is a very serious business. Kidnapping is not done by just an individual or a single person. So definitely it should be perpetrated by a gang of people. So there are people who are fronting the activity, and that is how come at least 4 people were seen in the first picture on June 4, 2019 in front of the private hostel where the women had just returned from a restaurant, and then they were bundled into that waiting Toyota Corolla vehicle. So it shouldn't be surprised that at least more people are being picked up in connection with the disappearance of the women. For now, we should wait upon the security agencies to tell us the kind of information that they have picked from the suspects, their motives, and who are behind the kidnapping. But it's been information flow has been scanty, especially at the time that the security agencies have been on the ground combing everywhere to get people who are connected to the kidnapping. So, Daniela, I don't think we should be surprised that more people are being arrested in connection with the kidnapping.
Right. I mean, since this is a large gang, have any other girls been found or any other kidnappees, if I can use that expression, been found with them?
Not at all, not to my knowledge. The agencies, the operative tells me they are dealing with the disappearance of the Canadian woman. So if there's anything related to this particular case, I'm sure they'll be forthcoming with information, especially at 3 p.m. where we have a scheduled press briefing to be addressed by the Information Ministry.
So these Canadian women are in Accra now?
Yes, I'm told as early in the morning, early as at dawn, they were transported to Accra to meet with the officials of the Canadian High Commission and also undergo a medical screening because the operatives believe because of the way, the condition of what they have gone through, they are likely to suffer a psychological trauma. So they need to get the needed treatment and the medical attention that they deserve. So that is how come they are in Accra. And I'm sure very soon they could be reuniting with their family.
Now, Ohiming, since you've been in touch with the security officials on this particular story, there has been this outcry that the Canadian experts who were flown in are those who facilitated this rescue, and this is not something that the Ghanaian security officials can take credit for. Have they been speaking to this?
Not really to this issue, but what I do know is that I've been in touch, I've been closer to the team, the police team, for instance, that have been on the ground ever since the mixing of the women were reported. And even just 3 days ago, remember, I said police says they have picked a very positive lead that could lead to the rescue of the women and possible arrest of the kidnappers. And the information that I got from them is the same location that the national security or the tripartite team followed up to arrest the suspects and then rescue the women. For instance, the police intelligence had already indicated that the women were being held between Asokore Mampong and Abuabo. And lo and behold, we wake up today to hear that the women have been rescued at Sawaba. And Sawaba is within this same enclave where the women were being held. So I think that for anybody to suggest that the police did not do any good job, something that probably should be below the belt. I think that the police have done so well, and this particular exercise or the rescue exercise was done by the local security. I didn't hear of the involvement of any foreign security experts. For instance, those who arrived from Canada, I didn't hear any of their participation in this particular rescue exercise.
Thank you, Ohiming Teria, for joining us. We'll move from Ohine and hear from security analyst Adams Bona, who has commended the security agencies for the good work done. He spoke to my colleague, Mama V. Oswa-Boaje, on the AM show.
And the BNI, the national security, they were collaborating, to rescue these girls. And I think they successfully did that ASAP, because they did that, I think, last night. And some suspects, I'm told, are also in custody. Some suspects who were part of this, this whole orchestration to kidnap those girls have been arrested. Yesterday and this morning, concerning this rescue, is that they didn't play any role. It was after the rescue that the police informed them that the girls have been rescued. And from my credible sources, the Canadians were surprised to be informed that the Canadian girls have been rescued. And so, as far as I'm concerned, credible intel I have indicates that the Canadians, even though they came in, didn't play any significant role in the efforts to rescue these girls. The security issues are becoming more topical now, but it is, I need to indicate that one individual who was part of the gang or deployed to kidnap these 3 Takrady girls is in police custody. One John, his name was mentioned by the young man the convict who is currently serving some jail term for escaping from lawful custody. He mentioned his name, and this John he's been arrested by the police, CID, and the police. And so as I speak, information I picked up again is that he's likely to be presented before court, and so that they will be able to meet the mandatory 48 hours. Hopefully, if they're able to get a remand for him, they might be able to extract more information that might lead to finding the Takrady missing girls, either dead or alive. And so we have to be hopeful and continue to ask questions, power the pressure, continue to push and say that, yes, the Canadian girls have been found. The same effort that was put in finding the girls, let's put the same effort. But the dynamics are a bit different here.
That's Adams Bona. We stay on that subject he brought up with the missing Takrady girls, and we are speaking to my colleague Natalia Kwanzaa, who reports that one of the suspected kidnappers of the Tadi girls arrested in Togo is currently in court. Ina, what more do you know?
Yes, so Daniel, his name was given in court as John Oji, the suspected kidnapper who was arrested in Togo, as you rightly said. And this morning, he has been remanded into prison custody to reappear in the Sekondi High Court 2 on the 26th of June this month. Apparently, this is the same John that Samuel Udotek Rose kept on mentioning that he's the brother that he was waiting for him to come. And then when he arrived in Ghana, finally, that was when Udotek escaped. So we are waiting for the next court hearing to see what will really come out.
Right. What more do we know about John as a person? How old is he? Where has he been?
That has not been mentioned. We understand there's going to be a briefing to the press a few minutes after this court hearing. So we are waiting for that briefing to get details on him. Right.
How has the family reacted?
Yes, Daniel, for the family, they feel that the Ghana Security Service have put priority on these two Canadians more than the three Safaradi girls who have gone for several months. They feel that the Daily Guide newspaper has also developed a dynamic of whenever they hear the family come out with demonstration and other things, bring out articles which sought to calm things down. But this time around, they would not stop going. They had promised, they have given us ultimatum of 21 days. The publication and then the arrest of John will not stop them from going to Accra if these girls are not brought back within that 21 days they have given.
Right. So, beyond everything, some security experts have argued that when these girls went missing, they didn't report the cases early enough. That's maybe why they didn't find them early enough compared to the Canadian girls. Can you confirm when the parents reported that these girls were missing? I mean, how soon after
Daniel,
the girls went missing?
For the first girl, Blessing Beitum, according to the parents, they reported a day after, that is on the 18th of August. And then Ruth Laprison, according to the family, reported on that same day. And Prince Lamatuk Diakranche's father says he reported few minutes or hours after he had a call from the daughter that she is somewhere, she doesn't know where she is.
So in all these three cases, it's within 24 hours?
Yes, Daniel.
Thank you very much, Natalia Kwanza. She's our reporter on that beat in Takrady. Still live on Joy News today with me, Daniel Dazin. Now, still up ahead in the bulletin, Ghana AIDS Commission is warning against the use of COA-FS, an immune booster, as an alternative for antiretrovirals for persons living with HIV/AIDS. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Thanks for staying with us. Now, the Ghana AIDS Commission is warning against the use of COA-FS, an immune booster, as an alternative for antiretrovirals for persons living with HIV/AIDS. The caution comes in the wake of alarming reports suggesting that persons living with HIV/AIDS are ditching antiretroviral therapies for COA-FS. The Commission says COA-FS only serves as a food supplement and not a substitute for antiretroviral drugs. There's more in the following report.
The COA-FS drug, since its introduction on the Ghanaian market, has been highly projected as a drug for curing HIV/AIDS, resulting in some persons living with HIV/AIDS ditching their antiretroviral therapies. At a gathering of some health experts in Accra to unveil the COA supplement, producers of the drug cautioned the public not to use it for a treatment for HIV/AIDS because it only serves as an immune booster.
The COA-FS has been registered by FDA as an immune booster. It is not for cure for HIV. But HIV patients can use COA-FS.
To do what?
To boost their immune system. While the antiretroviral drugs will target the viruses to reduce the viral burden. You see, and HIV compromises the immune system. So you need an immune booster to support the immune system to naturally. So the COA-FS is for everybody. But it is not specifically for cure for HIV. So
The Director General of the Ghana AIDS Commission, Shirley Tuahene, says people living with HIV should not ditch antiretroviral for coaves, but rather as a supplement.
People are rushing, persons living with HIV are rushing to buy COA FS, for cure for HIV. And then the next day, they are saying something different. So today, what we sought to do is to establish that fact that COA FS does not cure HIV, and it is not meant for HIV treatment. If anything, it is only food supplement that boosts the immune system. And from now on, we have had preliminary meeting with him and had discussions. And so we are going to have a roadmap to guide us, and we will put together an independent scientific group to do that work for us. And then we know whether it works the way he claims it does or otherwise. And I need to emphasize that to date, the scientific community has not found cure for HIV. That doesn't mean there is no cure somewhere.
Senior lecturer from the Department of Biochemistry at the University of Cape Coast says there's an ongoing research to look into the use of COA FS for the treatment of tuberculosis.
By the end of this month, we should get everything done and ready to take off. No, the study is for 6 months. So if we are starting this month, latest, the findings should be ready latest in February, because it will take 6 months. After that, we have to do our data analysis and everything before we release the data.
The Food and Drugs Authority says COA FS is a dietary supplement which supports the immune system to naturally fight and prevent deadly diseases.
And finally, before business, commercial drivers plying the Kumasi-Wa Highway are reporting increasing armed robbery along the Savannah region part of the route. It comes after reports of the death of one person following an attack of travelers on the Bimbila-Yendi Highway. They say armed men disguised themselves as police. They position themselves to take over unmanned barriers to terrorize motorists and passengers who they rob at gunpoint. Victims say some defiant drivers who have ignored signals by suspected robbers to stop have had their vehicles fired at, some resulting in casualties. Nana Aljima has been speaking with transport operators at Achemfo Station in Kumasi.
Kofi Nyame is in charge of a long-distance bus. He makes a quick check on his vehicle before embarking on his next trip from Kumasi to Upper West Regional Capital, Wa. For over a decade, he has plied this route, which he says has become more dangerous in the last month due to rising robbery.
Two armed men emerged from the bush to signal us to stop, but I ignored them. They started shooting into the vehicle. We managed to escape, but one passenger in the front seat was hit in the leg. We stopped at the next health facility for her to receive medical attention.
The gunshots, which have left marks on his vehicle, left one passenger in the front seat wounded. Kofi's other colleagues, like Oforian Ponsa, who have suffered similar ordeal, recounts how armed men had marched drivers and passengers on 8 buses into a bush.
They had taken over a police checkpoint. On the day, police were not on duty, so they posed as police and subjected all vehicles to search. Once the driver stops and gets off the vehicle, other gang members come out of the bush to march passengers back into the bush and rob them. For about 6 hours, they kept us hostage.
Ekweamansa, a trader, travels at least twice a month from Kumasi to Wa. She says they have had to count on divine intervention for survival.
The robbers now plant spies in the buses. They feed them information about the passengers and our routes through WhatsApp messages. They make it easier for them to attack buses. We want security on the road improved.
Officials at the Achemfo station want police to tackle the situation which is killing their business. Reko Fojo is station master.
The drivers and passengers report the robberies to police where they occur. We never hear from the police afterwards. Now it is becoming too frequent. We want government to intervene.
From Kumasi for Joy News, Nana Ojima reporting.
So live on Joy News today with me, Daniel Dazen. Our competing schools for this year's contest are currently arriving at the University of Ghana campus, where the quiz will run. Many more will be arriving tomorrow as well. MFA Jodosi and Emmanuel Juvenu are on ground to engage students on their preparedness towards the start of the competition. Let's cross over live to Legon campus and gauge the mood among participating schools who have arrived already. Right, we will be joining them shortly, but before that, let's take a look at some of the past winners of this competition. And the clock keeps ticking till the start of the preliminary competition on the 17th of June. That's come Monday. We'll be speaking with Emmanuel and MFA later in the day. And now let's take business.